Bam. Another episode of the Mad Suit Podcast. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. If you're tuning in, thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. I'm Fat Boy Happy. We got Cyclops. And what's going on, brother?
Oh, just another day. I was watching
Yeah.
Army and Notre Dame. Doesn't look too good for Army.
I saw that. I wasn't really watching it, but I was watching clips on the Colorado game where what's it? Sanders took a bad hit or something like that, and might be out for a little bit. I don't know. It looked nasty anyway from what I saw, and the refs are like scared to pull flags on that game or something.
I saw he struck a ref. I didn't see the game yet, so I got to go back and look at that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I just heard about that, but I know the play. He threw the ball, and the defender clearly aimed for his knees. And like he did like a front flip, hit the ground, was holding his knee, and it didn't look good. So hopefully he'll be okay because he really wants to play for our Denver Broncos. So that would be pretty cool. We don't need a quarterback because Bo Nix lit it the fuck up last week. What do you have? 4 touchdowns, just a hair over 300 yards. The second best QBR rating by a rookie ever or something like that. But either way, we have our franchise quarterback, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go on with, let me see here. I guess we'll go with the news around the world. So, first topic, Susan Smith denied parole. For those of you that are too fucking young to understand, Susan Smith made headlines. What was that, like in the early mid 90s? So apparently she was found guilty for killing her 2 kids. She's the one that put the kids in the back seat and then put it in neutral and it went in the lake, right? Yeah, so she did that, blamed some black dude for kidnapping, and they found out that she lied. She's been locked up since the 90s, and she got denied parole. So I'm glad she got denied parole because that's a piece of shit. But anyway, in other news, so I stumbled upon this article on accident on TikTok, and they discovered an Aztec whistle. It's a death whistle. Now, I don't know what the purpose of that death whistle is, but I'm assuming it wasn't fucking good. But apparently, like real life now, when the researchers that found this artifact actually used it, it actually had an effect on the human brain and anyone that listened to it. So they're talking about there might be some spiritual whatever involved with it. And I just thought that's just pretty interesting because I'm not a history buff as far as like I know everything about history, but I do find it very interesting. And I think it's cool that we still find shit like that till this day. Do you have any thoughts on that? The Aztec death whistle?
I'd be willing to listen to it.
I'd be too. I mean, hey, if anything, look, if anything, I will be forced to call in sick and I'll have to go on like sick leave for a while. So it'll give me more time off. So I'm not going to complain about that. But anyway, in other news, so I stumbled upon this today. I thought it was pretty cool. There's a TikToker. I didn't catch the name, but she apparently did like an ancestry DNA test or whatever, and it revealed like the results of her DNA test identified a cold case murder victim, which led to her grandmother's arrest. Can you imagine how Thanksgiving is going to be in a couple days after that happened? Isn't it funny how the ancestry DNA test is able to do shit like that, where you can still, it has an effect on people even now?
Well, there'll be more food for everyone at the table.
There'll be a lot left over deviled eggs, that's for sure. In other news.
Yeah.
This is just a real quick shout out. So, I'm not going to, so yesterday when I was at work, I didn't do anything like special. I didn't lift anything heavy. I didn't fall or anything. I was literally walking down the hallway and I felt like a sharp pain in my like where my V line would be if I wasn't fat. Okay. So my doctor friend says that that might be a hernia. So there's another sign that I'm getting old, but that's another discussion. So I haven't really been doing much today. So I've been watching Peacock because I was watching the Martin show and I got done with that, and I found another show called The Day of the Jackal, and it's like a spy TV series, and it's actually pretty good. So I would definitely strongly advise if you're into like spy movies to definitely watch that because that's actually it's got a good storyline and shit. But anyway, you, sir, mentioned something about The Cure. Is that correct?
Yeah, we've talked about how today's music sucks,
Of
and
course.
I'm not saying all of it. Every now and then you hear a song, you're like, oh, that's pretty good. You were talking about that one band from India, and it sounded pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like that, like there's this genre of music from what the mid '70s to mid '80s, late '80s maybe. That new wave, what do you call it? Post punk, goth rock, whatever. The Cure, Bauhaus,
Heavy on the eyeliner.
yeah, Joy
Yeah.
Division. I don't know. I
Hmm.
just like that type of music, that dark, gloomy, usually about breakups and stuff like that. And
Like if Tim Burton had to have been
yeah,
a fan of that music.
yeah, and it's great driving music too.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
I'm telling you this. I know we were talking about it earlier. The Cure, in my opinion, they could not make a bad song. You know, they've made some good music along with that genre in general. That was a good vibe, a good. It's just it's easy on the ears. You know, it's not. There's nothing particularly special about it other than it was a nice groove. It was nice rhythm. It was just good vibe. You know, and the best example for that genre of music is just listen to The Cure. You know, it's just the beat, the rhythm. It was just it's pretty cool fucking genre, and I think it's extremely underrated, in my opinion.
And we'll
Like,
probably have some music snobs argue what band belongs to what category and yada 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 and blah blah
yeah,
blah.
just like the ones that identify as a she tree or a he bush.
Hey,
Fuck them.
we
They'll
just
be all
like
right.
that type of music. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's just good music. If it's good music, it's good music. You know, no need to argue about it. And I know someone's going to, and if you do, go fuck yourself. But anyway, that ends the news around the world. We're gonna jump right into it. Stuff that pissed us off this week. Um, and I gotta say, I think I speak for the vast majority of the people in the country, maybe even in the world, when I say the one thing that fucking pissed me off the most this week was the Jake Paul Tyson fight. Did that piss you off too?
I think it pissed off the whole country. Like
It
everybody was all pumped up for that, and then the streaming was terrible and it was frozen, and the fight was just completely garbage. And Tyson didn't do anything like he was doing with the training. And
no, he
I don't
didn't.
really know what Jake Paul was really doing out there either.
I don't know. I know from what I heard, I think not official. Jake Paul, I think, is getting paid 40 million. Tyson's getting paid like around 20, between 20 and 30 million.
Oh, they got their money.
Yeah, they got paid. And I think that's like I don't know, I think that seems like to be like the theme of the Jake Paul fights. He's not fighting anybody that's his age, that's his weight class or height, and similar traits as him. The one fight that he did, I forgot that dude's name, that was the same age group, same skill level, everything, and he lost that fight.
Yeah.
I do think that the majority of his fights are just publicity stunts, and it's just for fucking money. And
But
regardless, I think Tyson knew or was involved in that. Obviously, I don't think he was trying to fight for real, but it doesn't change my view on the fact that Tyson is the greatest of all time.
yeah, but I do think that it kind of kills any future draw that Jake Paul's going to have, because everybody's going to be suspicious from this point forward that
Oh yeah, for sure.
these fights are shady.
Yeah, not
And
worth watching for sure.
and you really should expect that with boxing. Boxing has that ugly history.
It does. It does. And it's not boxing isn't the same like it used to be in the mid 90s. I think was well, I wouldn't even say the mid 90s. I would say probably the 80s was like at its peak. You know, in the 90s, mid to late 90s is when it started to die down a little bit. I think the hype really was there, like with De La Hoya and all them. But from the 2000s on, it just hasn't been as popular, especially with the rise of UFC. So, but kudos. You know what though? Hey, let me ask you a question. $20 million. You get offered $20 million to step in the ring with Mike Tyson for 6 rounds, 2-minute rounds, but he's actually trying to fight you. Are you taking the $20 million in that ass whooping?
I don't think I want brain damage. I think I'm good.
I think it'll be the most running I've done in my entire life. I would take the 20 million, spend like what 500 G's on medical expenses.
Yeah.
I would take the 20 million, take that ass whooping for sure. I mean, the 20 million is 20 million. They did it, so why can't I, right? I mean,
yeah, like our luck, he would fight for real.
Yeah, he would. But like piggybacking off the fight, Netflix was also a fucking huge disappointment.
They should have put it on Tubi. Well, shit.
They might as well. They had Tubi's got better streaming services. Because I was trying to watch the fight on Netflix, and mind you, I got my internet cable directly connected to my Xbox, and that I use the Xbox for all my streaming services. So it wasn't my internet. It was the fact that Netflix fucking sucked on streaming events, and more than half the fight was buffering. I will say Antonio Brown on X or Twitter, whatever, he was streaming it live and I was able to watch it like that. But I gotta say, I was really disappointed with Netflix because I think I like Netflix. I think in January WWE is going to be putting some of their shows on Netflix too. So I like Netflix. I just think someone in the department of the streaming services needs to get a write-up or a verbal reprimand or something. So to the person who is responsible or the department responsible for streaming that fight, go fuck yourself. Anyway, so moving on, sir. What is your beef with the Jaguar car commercials?
So there's this new Jaguar car commercial. You can look it up on YouTube or whatever. And my beef with it is like they changed the logo and everything, and like what does it have to do with Jaguar cars or Jaguar or whatever you call it?
I saw the commercial that you sent me, and it has nothing to do with a vehicle at all.
Yeah, like I'm not sure what they're aiming for. Like, it doesn't really make any sense, and they kind of made Jaguar uncool. And
maybe tell me if you agree with me or not. Watching that commercial, the one that you sent me, in my opinion, I'm not bashing anybody. Okay, I can if you want me to, but I'm not. But does it seem like just watching that commercial? It seems like the higher ups in the media community or whatever is trying to push a gay agenda onto consumers. Because when I watched that commercial, I didn't see one Jaguar car anywhere. I saw a bunch of dudes wearing dresses and makeup, doing some weird fucking dancing. Made me not want to buy a Jaguar ever. What do you think on that? That could be, and that could also fall into a conspiracy theory. Throwing it out there.
Yeah, I don't know what to really think on it other than like I don't see how that's going to sell any Jaguars. I just
I
don't.
sure
Like,
agree with you.
and look, hey, we look at all the music we like from the 80s. We're not like disrespecting gay people. We listen to what the Pet Shop Boys and Frankie Goes to
Yeah.
Hollywood and
No,
Boy
we just
George
talked
and
about the
George
Cure
Michaels
wearing
and all.
fucking
Yeah,
eyeliner.
yeah, exactly. So I mean that stuff was cool.
Yeah.
But this weird Jaguar, I don't know. It just doesn't work. Like to me, this doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. And to the person who is responsible for coming up with ideas for that commercial, I think you know it's coming. Go fuck yourself. Moving on. Did I mention today that fuck the Cowboys? I didn't say it. I'm saying it now. Fuck the Cowboys. Anyway, I got a complaint. Something that pissed me off recently. I brought it up earlier. It's another sign. If you have been listening to the podcast from the start, I started this podcast as a way to vent my frustrations on just about anything. And the biggest thing that I've been dealing with is the fact that I'm getting old. I got gray hairs coming in my beard and up my nose. Is crazy when I flip them out. It's like there's like 5 gray hair. Anyway, so I just take this hernia thing. Now it hasn't been official. I go to the doctor, I think in a couple days, like on the 3rd or something. But it just pisses me off because like I'm seeing these signs again. I'm getting old, man. Fucking hernia. Back in the day, I remember a time I was worried. My biggest worry was having enough money to go to the titty bar. And now I'm like really excited about the new blender that I got, but I have a possible hernia. So I know that's going to require surgery if that is the case. So, yeah, that's my issue right now. I'm getting old. So I got something. Fuck you, life, for making me old and making me fat. Moving on. I'm representing all the fat guys. I'm still cute. Rude people. Cyclops, what's your issue with rude people?
I'm just like, why can't people just respect one another? And
Mhm.
this is whether it's a friend or coworker, family, whatever. And then we've talked about this before in our line of work that we did not like anyone being condescending towards us, like talking
Right.
down to us, like somehow they're better or they're all knowing or whatever.
Mhm.
And I'm usually very relaxed and chill, but if you start saying stuff like that to me, usually that's pretty much where I lose it, and I'll snap at you. And that's,
Yeah,
I'm sure you're the same way. Like
I am. I'm so okay. So you are retired from the jobs where we first met, like almost
yeah,
like 20 years ago. I'm still in that profession, and 10, 15 years ago, I was the hothead, an asshole. I never thought first before I spoke or acted. So apologies to all my former supervisors. But anyway, I'm getting older as I brought it up, and I'm kind of like biting my lip now. But it's very hard. It's very hard to keep my mouth shut sometimes because here I am, I'm a couple months away from hitting my 15 years with the company that I work for. And I got people that, I mean, hell, that they've been in the system, a shorter amount of time than I've been on probation. And when these people act like they've seen it all, I mean, hell, 15 here, you retired with 20 years, you haven't seen it all, and I haven't seen it all, and I've been through some crazy shit,
no
and I
one
haven't
has.
seen it all. But these 2, 3, 4 year vets, man, they act like they fucking know everything. And I get it, man. It gets frustrating, and I'm just I'm kind of proud of myself that I've grown up a little bit, and I haven't gotten fired yet from my mouth. So to all you people out there that want to be disrespectful and don't want to show respect just in general because it's the right thing to do, go fuck yourself. Anyway, moving on from that shit. finally, what you got on this Dead Kennedy song?
So I get mad at random stuff. I don't get mad at who wins elections and stuff like that. I usually just get mad
Right.
at random trivial stuff.
Mhm.
And I was listening to that old song from Dead Kennedys called MTV Get Off the Air. And it's basically that they're ranting about how MTV sucks. And I guess this was made in the mid 80s, and MTV was just big, just became big, and everybody was, all the hair bands are making their music videos and all that stuff. And they were talking about how MTV lacked creativity and it was ruining music and it was setting back music, uh, you know, years or whatever. And I was like, you know
Mhm.
what? That's kind of wrong, because all those videos back then were actually pretty creative. I mean, Sledgehammer, come on, Money for Nothing.
Dude, Sledgehammer, that fucking video is a
Yeah.
classic.
So I was like, you know
Classic.
what? Now, if they were ranting about MTV today, I'd be on board with it, because MTV today sucks.
When was the last time MTV Now had like a whole day where all they played was music videos?
I mean, probably mid 90s when they had Beavis and Butthead and Daria.
That and you remember that cartoon Eon Flux?
Yeah.
The most, I mean, to me, that was like a throwed off cartoon, but I liked it, you know. But even then, that show, that cartoon or whatever, still had some good music. And even then, MTV back in the day, from I would say from the mid 90s and older, was actually worth watching because again, what does MTV stand for? Music television. And they don't play any music videos. And if you watch the music videos that are being made, they're fucking trash. Because
Yeah.
like you said, Sledgehammer was like ahead of its time. That was ahead of its time. Um, Metallica one
Yeah.
that was a crazy ass video, and I remember till this day the first time I saw the music video for Metallica's song One. I was in Baumholder, Germany, because my dad was assigned over there, and we were on base. I think we were like at the commissary or something, and they had a TV there, and that's where I saw it. I just saw this fucking dark video, and it fucking just got my attention. That's what music videos did back then. They got your attention, and you actually look forward to watching it. And now it's like fucking MTV's trash, dude. So guess what? It's all MTV. This is for you for not playing any more videos. Fuck you, MTV. Play some more goddamn videos. But anyway, that is the list of things that pissed us off this week. Tune in next week to find out what else pissed us off this week. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna get something. But anyway, we're gonna move on to our top 5 list. We just started this a couple weeks ago, and this is kind of stuff that you usually talk to with your friends anyway. The greatest of all time. This, that, and this, and that, and another. So we are definitely going to go into our top five greatest fast food joints of all time. I'm going to go in order. I'm going to go from 5 and work my way to 1. I'll go first. My number 5 greatest fast food joint of all time, Wiener Schnitzel, because the hot dogs were the shit. What do you think?
They haven't had one here in a while.
No, they got rid of them. I mean, I know they're around somewhere, but not nearly as much as they were in the 90s and 80s and shit. But yeah, Wiener Schnitzel, number 5, because of the price. You can get a shitload of hot dogs and you will pass the fuck out that night. That's my number 5. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is going to be Arby's.
Fucking Arby's, dude. I love me some Arby's. Totally underrated.
They got a French dip there.
They got a French dip sandwich?
Yeah, they have a French dip sandwich.
Right. What the
fuck? They got some good stuff on their menu. Really good stuff. They've always got decent value meals. Right. I like them because, another thing is you'll have McDonald's will have 50 cars in line, or Burger King will have 20 cars in line. Arby's usually none. Usually you just get in and get out.
Yeah, and who doesn't like a sandwich with a bunch of meat and cheese on it? I mean, I think they're great. That's definitely a good pick. My number 4 And this is my number 4 because I think they've improved over the years, and that's gonna be Domino's Pizza. Um, Mainly, I like the fact that again their ingredients have improved. They do have the menu where it's like $6.99. You can get like all kinds of shit for $6.99, like even a medium pizza and stuff. And I just like it. I think they got the rewards thing too. That's pretty cool. So you can get free stuff. You know, as you order, you get points. So yeah, Domino's definitely improved over the years. So they make my list at number 4. Who you got next on yours?
Domino's also does a good job tracking your order.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. And when your order's messed up, which I've never had a problem with my order messing up, but I've heard from other people that like whenever their order does get messed up, Domino's is like on it. Here's a free pizza and another one. My bad. Like they're quick on that. So that's why I got them at number 4.
My number 4 will be Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's, a newer spot for the list. Why Jersey Mike's?
I don't know. I just like. I mean, I'm a big person on subs and sandwiches, and I think they do a good job on what they do. And there's a couple things that I really like there. And then one other thing is usually if you have it set up to have it made ahead of time, they have it all ready for you. It's they're pretty organized.
I like Jersey Mike's. I've never had a problem. Like I've eaten over there a handful of times, and I've never had a problem. They got some good food, so that's a good pick. My number 3 is a Texas staple. Whataburger. Whataburger, just I don't know what it is, man. They're open. First of all, they're open 24 hours a day. Most places. There might be a handful that aren't, but I know the ones here 24 hours a day. And their burgers are just good. They got a really good breakfast menu. And yeah, I just like their burgers, and I've never had a problem with them. So Whataburger's number 3 on my list.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Whataburger.
Cannot go wrong with it. What's your number 3?
Firehouse.
Firehouse subs. Okay.
Yeah.
I like Firehouse.
Again, I just like subs, and they really make some good subs there. And I like their drink machine. I like those ones where you can custom make your.
You know what? Yeah, now that I think about it, they do have. I'm real big on Dr. Pepper, which, by the way, they are not sponsored the show, but if they want to be, they can. In fact, I'm drinking a zero sugar cream soda Dr. Pepper now. I do like their machine though, because I can get a sugar-free or zero sugar Dr. Pepper and get like 10, 12 different flavors that you just don't find in the stores. Yep. And I think that's pretty cool. And I think, I don't know how, like what percentage of the proceeds it is, but I know a certain percentage of their profits goes towards like firefighter association of some kind or whatever. Like it goes back to the firefighters, because that's who opened up that store in the first place, was some firefighters. So yeah, you know, kudos to them, man. That is definitely a good spot to eat at. So my number 2 is McDonald's. And the reason why it's McDonald's, number 1 reason, is their fries are like crack. They got the best fries, hands down, in my opinion. I don't know if they sprinkle crack or menthol on their fries, but I can't get enough of them. And I've noticed too over the last few years that their hamburger patties have improved. I don't know if you've noticed that or not, but their actual hamburger patties have improved tremendously. So McDonald's, the classic, best fries hands down, is number 2 on my list. What's your number 2?
I haven't been to McDonald's in a minute. I'll have to try that and see if it's changed.
Try it, dude.
I know I do like the McNuggets.
Yeah, those are good too. Like their whole menu, dude. I'm telling you, there is no more that pink goo that they made food from in the 90s. Yeah. Like you can tell their patties are fresh. Like they just taste so much better. The fries, I'm telling you, they have to sprinkle menthol on it or something because they're fucking addicting. They are so good. But yeah, McDonald's has improved a lot. So, and you know, the price ain't bad either. Mind you, because of the economy we live in, all the prices on everything's gone up, but they've kind of like they haven't taken it overboard. So it's still affordable and it's still good. So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is Subway.
Subway. You do have a heavy sub sandwich list.
Yeah, and now I will say that I think Subway lacks a little bit in quality compared to the other ones. However, the thing is, every town you go into, I don't care how big or small, you can find a Subway somewhere.
Always. You can always find a Subway. You are absolutely correct.
And I have been up into like the middle of nowhere in Maine, and all they had was like Subway in a Chinese restaurant. And so they still have the Subway. Like the Subway's still there in the middle of the forest, you know.
Right. So, and usually Subway's open pretty late too in some places.
Yeah.
Not where we live, because I mean, if you go out late here in town, your odds of being on the first 48 are pretty fucking good. But in some safer places, Subway's usually open late, if not 24 hours.
If so you're going out late here, you're going to hit the Whataburger drive-thru or the Jack in the Box drive-thru. And
that's it. That's it. That's it. Don't even get out the car.
Keep your door locked.
100%. My number 1 it's a classic. It has been there for me when I was younger, experimenting with marijuana. It was there for me whenever I get off of work after having a bad day and I didn't feel like cooking, but I wanted something quick and filling. And sometimes it's good to have on football, on Sundays. Taco Bell. Taco Bell is my number 1 fast food joint for those same reasons. It's convenience. Every town has them. It's quick. You can just go in there, grab it. You're good to go. Mind you, you're going to feel it later when you go to the bathroom, but it's totally worth it. I'm not saying they have the best fast food. We're not talking about actual restaurants. We're talking about fast food. And for me, Taco Bell, hands down, my number 1. What is your number 1 fast food joint?
On Taco Bell, I mean, we might as well get used to it. It's going to be the only fast food chain that survives the franchise wars.
Yeah, it is, because that's when you're going to learn how to use the 3 seashells because of Taco Bell. I'll be impressed if anybody catches that reference, by the way.
Yeah, we'll see if next week if anybody does. We're not saying it. We're not going to say
it. I'm not going to say it. I ain't going to say it, but I will say it is, in my opinion, the most underrated movie of all time. That's all I'm going to say.
My number 1 is Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A. Okay. Why is that?
Okay. You can go to that Chick-fil-A and there'd be 30 people in line and you'd be done in 5 minutes. I don't know how they do it, but they have this down to a science where they have people out there running around with tablets and clipboards or whatever, and they're just like do boom 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 boom.
And no matter what the weather's like, they're always out there.
Yeah, they'll send them out there in 110 degrees.
Whatever. Yeah. And they're also very nice.
Yes.
Because you can't tell that they're having a bad day because of how nice they are. And the chicken sandwich, I mean, you can have the most basic ass chicken sandwich, bread, chicken, pickles, and it still tastes fucking good. They got the best chicken sandwich in town. I agree with that one. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our top 5 fast food joints of all time. I don't know what our top 5 is going to be next week. I got some ideas running through my head. Obviously, me and you will message each other and get some ideas. I'm thinking, since we brought it up, maybe top 5 underrated movies of all time. I think that'd be a good one.
That might be interesting.
I think that's going to be our top 5 next week. Is going to be top 5 most underrated movies of all time, because that will also lead into what movie we just referenced, and we can just answer that next week, see if anyone catches on to it. But anyway, we're going to move on to conspiracy theories, which is a new segment of the show that we like to do because we're fucking nerds. So this first conspiracy theory has been going around since before our great grandfathers had been born. We're kind of starting to get into the conspiracy theories that could be true, maybe have some element of truth to it. You know, we're starting to get to those. So this first one we're going to talk about is going to be the what is it called? The abominable snowman that lives in Asia. For so long there have been uh eyewitness accounts of some 10-foot whatever Sasquatch looking beast in the mountains, like in the Himalayan mountains and all that. There have been plasters of footprints that are like bigger than Shaq. They made plasters of those big old footprints that no one can explain. My question to you, Cyclops, do you think it's possible that there's an abominable snowman, Sasquatch beast living in Asia?
I mean, it's definitely plausible, especially in the mountains and everything. There's probably a lot of rural areas that haven't been fully explored, or
Right.
sure there could be mysterious creatures out there. It's one of those ones. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that, any proof, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we find new creatures all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes to what 5% of the ocean has been explored. Only 5%. So there's no telling what could be in the oceans. Even though we just found out that UFOs are now going in and out of our oceans. But going back to what we're talking about, I mentioned this last week when we were just kind of chatting. When I was younger, I always thought, yeah, there's Bigfoot, Sasquatch, whatever. They're out there. They are the number one players of hide and go seek of all time, the greatest, because no one can find them. But as I'm getting older and I'm getting into my get off my yard stage, which you're getting there too. You're a year or two older than me, but I'm starting to get to that point where I want to see a bone. I want to see physical evidence so I can finally put to rest if it exists or not. But again, like I mentioned before, they found numerous footprints. They've taken plasters of it. They can't explain. The fucking foot is like wider than a normal human and a lot longer than a normal human. Makes Shaq look like a kindergartner. So either someone has made a shoe that makes those footprints and they're just playing a joke on everybody, or it's out there and we just haven't found it yet. But man, with technology and like you can buy a damn drone now. I mean, you would think somebody would have fucking found something on footage by now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Until someone can show me physical proof, we have to say that this conspiracy theory is bullshit. Now this one is going to be interesting. I stumbled upon this one the other day. I thought it'd be cool for us to talk about. This conspiracy theory says airplane exhaust trails are filled with chemicals. Now, here's my thought on this. So, you know how when you have a car that's got some exhaust issues and it shoots out all that smoke in the back, right? Technically, that should have some kind of chemical in it. It has to. It's discolored and everything. So I think the trails that you see up in the sky are gonna, I mean, they're not natural, obviously. They're from the fucking airplane. So I think they're gonna have some sort of chemical. I think the bigger thing that we should be discussing is it possible that maybe the government or maybe pharmaceutical companies are using those trail clouds from airplanes as a way to expose a certain area of a certain drug or whatever as tests? Like they're using us as test subjects without us knowing. Do you think that's possible?
I don't know. I know that they're there. You see them every day.
Yeah.
I my curiosity would be these airline pilots. Wouldn't they know something was up? Wouldn't somebody, snitch on it or whatever if they're doing some sort of sinister plot with these chemtrails? would
Well,
spill the beans.
so I don't think the pilots would know because I'm not a pilot. I'm not a fucking expert, but I am a Bronco fan, so I am pretty smart. So think about an airline pilot. They're not there when the airplane is being built. They're not outside when the airplane's getting fueled with its fuel. They're inside waiting to load onto the plane just like we would if we were flying somewhere. And if they're not waiting to, get on the plane, they're either, getting something to eat or they're at the hotel. They're not around that airplane 24/7.
I mean, that's true.
And who's to say, like, whenever you see the fuel at the gas station getting like when that fuel truck comes in to fill up the gas station underneath the pumps, the truck driver, I used to be a truck driver, I don't see what's in those damn tanks that I'm hauling. All I know is I need to pick it up. I hook up and I drop it off. I don't see what's actually going inside. So in my opinion, I think it's possible because weren't they doing that kind of shit in Vietnam? What was it? Agent Orange or something like that? Where they had chemicals and they were exposing soldiers without them knowing. It's not. You can't tell me it's not possible.
I mean, it is possible. It's just I still kind of view it in the same way that with the Abominable Snowman. I need to see more proof.
Right. I totally agree with you. I do need to see proof to actually be convinced. But I'm always going to be thinking outside the box because it is the government we're talking about. Right. Well, fuck, you know what? Fuck flat earthers. We all know the earth's not flat. Fuck them. But is it possible? And I think it is possible that maybe something more sinister, more secretive is going on because it is the government we're talking about. There's a bunch of shit that they've already probably invented all kinds of shit that we're not going to know about for the next 30 years, just like when we had GPS in Vietnam, but we didn't have access to GPS as the public till the 90s. So like I said, anything's possible. If you are listening or watching this, please comment below. Let us know any ideas you might have for any other conspiracy theories or whatever, or just give us your opinion on them. But anyway, I think we're going to move on to fan interaction. So I think we're going to go there. Our first question comes from Walker. I see your Broncos doing things. Fuck yeah, we are. Beginning of the season, a lot of these so-called experts had the Broncos not winning more than 3 games this season, and we've already surpassed that. Yes, Bo Nix played like hammered dog shit the first couple weeks of the season, but he's a rookie. He had to adjust, and he has done nothing but improve every single week to include his best game so far in his young career, which happened last week. 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards passing. I mean, perfect QBR rating. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better game. But yeah, I'm happy. I don't know about you, Cyclops, and I'm pretty sure we have found our franchise quarterback. What do you think?
I mean, I think so too. It was kind of frustrating at the beginning of the year because I was like, "Uh-oh, here we go again." And you already know I was ranting and raving. And
yeah,
but it does look like there are things that are promising there, and hopefully it continues upward.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do nothing but improve and learn, and we're going to have a tremendous amount of fucking cap next season, so we can build around him. So I'm looking forward to that. Moving on.
I still have PTSD from Paxton Lynch and Drew Lock.
Yeah, and that fucking Chiefs game where we lost with that blocked field goal did not help with that either. No. That was a fucking fluke. We won that game. But anyway, Jess writes, what do y'all think about time travel? What do you think about time travel?
No, I think that's one of the ones that's like, without any type of evidence, I think it's possible. And
Right.
here's one of my theories: dreams.
Okay.
Has you ever had a dream that didn't take place in the current time? Maybe it was in the past or the future. Because I've had dreams like that, and so I just wonder if there's a way that, like, you're when you're dreaming, are you going into some other dimension, or how that works? And you're
So,
moving.
like, what you mean is like a dream where you're dreaming of like just a regular day, but it's not from the current time.
Right, or you think you're in high school still. You wake up. Everyone's
Right.
had a dream. They wake up, they're in their underwear or whatever.
Right.
Is
Right.
that
Right.
really a dream? Is it time travel, or is it some sort of
A multi-dimension,
whatever?
a
Who knows?
multi. Mhm.
That
Yeah,
way,
I
I
think
don't think it's
so.
like a time machine. Like people have a machine and they go back in time. I
Right.
think it's more subconscious.
Yeah. So yeah. So man, I forgot when it was. It was this. It was within the past week. I saw. So like I mention TikTok all the time because there's a lot of pages on there that like documentary type of pages, and I like, especially when it talks about our past, our history, right? So I was watching one where there was like some scientists that were like in Egypt or whatever trying to find some old tombs, whatever, and they found, and I'm sure you've seen it, like, how like the Egyptians, like the way they told history was they did like a lot of drawings on the walls and shit, right?
Yeah.
So they found quite a few pictures that looked like a modern day astronaut wearing the outfit and shit. And then they found pictures of what looks like a helicopter and a regular airplane. And they found an artifact that resembled a cell phone, not exactly a cell phone, but it resembled one, like hardcore. And that kind of made me think maybe time travel could be real. But then, like, on the flip side, if it was real, like, why didn't, like, okay, look, if I was working in the government and I was like that guy that was like told to go back in time to do stuff or whatever, I'm going back to the hospital where Hitler was born, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna strangle that little fucking baby. I'm going to. Whatever. Does that make me a bad person? It can't be worse than Hitler, right?
But
So my
if you think about it like that, if someone did go back in time and kill Hitler, so we're on this timeline, like Back to the Future. We're on this timeline where Hitler existed. So someone does that, they create an alternate timeline, and if they went back to the future, they would be in that alternate timeline without Hitler. But we're still in that same timeline where
right.
Hitler existed. That's
So then like that would have to like then that's opened up a whole fucking rabbit hole of what if World War I and II didn't happen? Right? What would our world be like now? Could it be worse or could it be better?
or what
There's
if
no
it
way to
happened
know.
later.
Right. Oh yeah, or like what if World War I happened like in 2025? You know what I mean? Like you just don't know. So that's interesting. That is, and then also, have you seen this? So the creator of Ferrari, if you ever look, like, you can look this shit up on YouTube, on the internet, whatever. I think it's the creator, the guy who created Ferrari died, I want to say in 1981 or 82. And there is this other guy who was born the same fucking day that the owner or the creator of Ferrari died. And he grew up into adult and looked identical to the creator of Ferrari. Does that make sense? Like,
So
the
now,
guy who created
yes.
Ferrari died on this day. On that same day, this guy was born and grew up to look identical to that guy.
And now you're into the topic of reincarnation.
Right. But it's just crazy how stuff like that happens. So do I think time travel is real? Not to the point where we see on TV. But again, anything's possible. Moving on. I can't. This is exactly how this dude spelled his name. Hung, Ikahrs. I don't know how Hung I don't know. Anyway, Cyclops got a lot of Funkos. Which one? I don't know. There's more to it than what you see. Cyclops got a lot of Funkos. Which one is your favorite? Which one do you want? I guess they're like, which one of your Funkos of your collection is your favorite? And is there a Funko that you want that you don't have?
So the ones I want, the original Beavis and Butthead, they're about $400 or $500 a piece.
Damn.
That would be the two I would want. Now, as far as my favorites, I'm gonna grab them right here and show them.
Here we go.
So,
by the way, cool shirt.
Yeah, thank you. Need to watch the rest on Netflix. I know that they released some more. So, you remember one of these, I know for sure.
Yep, I do remember that one. Yep.
This is from that Roddy Piper movie, They Live. One is an autograph from the composer, and the other one is the Chase variant. And
there you go.
It's not that they're super expensive. It's just I really like that movie.
Mental value.
Yeah, really like that movie a lot.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Marcos. Oh, this isn't a question. This is a comment. Marcos says, "Y'all sound like Republicans." I have said this numerous times. You've said this numerous times. We are neither for red or blue. It just so happens that Republicans won the election and the Democrats are the ones acting like a bunch of retards on the internet, like overboard, like crying, killing their families, and just doing a bunch and moving out of the country, like overreacting. And I've said it before, if your job is to convince me to be a Democrat, so far y'all aren't doing a good job, you know.
And the last time it was like that too. I mean, the Republicans acted a fool. And
yeah, like there's neither here nor there.
Like
so,
here's so we don't care if people smoke weed. We don't care if who they get married to.
Right.
We don't care about people going to the casino to gamble all their money. We don't care if people go to the sports books. We wish it would be nice if they had them here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, but that's all stuff that Republicans hate and the Democrats support. So we're all for all that stuff. It's just
absolutely
we don't like the whining and the crying and running around like toddlers.
Yeah, I agree. We're located in Texas, and I'm hoping one day gambling is legal and we get casinos and we don't have to drive to WinStar in Oklahoma anymore or Louisiana. Marijuana, I mean, I think it's got a lot of medical benefits, so I'm not against it. Maybe one day they'll legalize it. But yeah, again, it's just to piggyback what you said. It's just the way these people are acting because their person didn't win is just fucking retarded. And Marcos, I got something for you to talk about. Fuck you, Marcos, and thank you for watching the show. Anyway, so we have another one from Koi Boy 99. He says, thoughts on a bidet. Wow, that's a random fucking question. So here's my thoughts on a bidet. In case some of y'all don't know what a bidet is, it's something that goes in your toilet, shoots a stream of water in your ass, and it's supposed to help you clean a lot better. My problem is I'm afraid I might enjoy it too much, so I don't want a bidet. What are your thoughts?
I guess I'm open to trying it. I think they've got them like in stores now where you can.
Yeah, I think you can get them at Lowe's or Home Depot.
Yeah.
But I'd probably enjoy it too much, so I'm gonna go ahead and pass on the bidet.
Hey, we gotta get used to the 3 seashells, so we gotta.
Yeah. If someone can explain the 3 seashells, I will be happy to try a bidet. Okay. But that is our fan interaction. We end every episode with a quote / advice of the week. And this quote of the week is: the best way to appreciate your job is to imagine yourself without a job. I'm Fat Boy Happy. That's Cyclops. Tune in every Saturday for another episode of the Mad Suit Podcast. And as always, remember, Marcos, you, sir, can go fuck yourself. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. I think that turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a 55.